Jessie Murph has stunned fans and followers with her evolution from a TikTok teen posting cover songs to a genre-blending phenomenon, sparking controversy for taking listeners back to 1965. This is her journey from then to now. Before she was a Sports Illustrated cover star causing a stir with 1965, Jessie Murph was just a Tennessee kid, born to two musicians and raised in a house filled with music. She spent the first 3 years of her life in the Nashville area, but told Teen Vogue that her earliest memories of living near the country music capital are limited to a lot of land and some goats. So as tempting as it is to credit her countryside to growing up near Nashville, her early proximity to Music City had little to do with it. And besides, Jessie's not really into genre labels. In an April 2024 interview with Basic magazine, she said, "I love all types of music, and I don't intentionally think about genres when I'm writing. I just write what I'm feeling and what I love. And the sound that comes out is my unique font. In fact, I am very adamant about not being labeled by any one genre."
I wouldn't look at me and be like, that's a country artist. Like, I don't know that I deserve to be in that category.
Jessie's family left the Nashville area and headed for Alabama, landing in Huntsville before moving to a much smaller town, Athens, when she was in middle school. Jessie told Teen Vogue that living very deep in the Bible Belt was uncomfortable at times, a lot of judginess all around her, and she was even bullied for a time. When she was 16, she revealed in an interview, "Eventually, I just realized that I was spending more energy and trying way harder to be someone I wasn't, rather than just being myself, and it was exhausting." It wasn't until high school that Jessie realized it's okay to be different from the other kids. She told Ones to Watch that up until her sophomore year, she was super blonde and on the cheer team, dressing the way she was expected to dress. She revealed to People magazine that music was her safe space at the time, and she loved listening to artists like Adele, Amy Winehouse, and Drake. Jessie realized early on that music was her path. She told People magazine she learned to play the ukulele and a little keyboard when she was just 10 or 11. She later told Digital Journal, "Songwriting has saved me from so much in my life. It's my outlet. I can be a little impulsive sometimes, but instead of acting out, I'll write it down and let my feelings out that way. It's my lifeline." Her method was simple: learn covers on YouTube. At the time, she was surrounded by country music in her small town, but her favorite artist was still Adele. She didn't start listening to much hip-hop, a major influence on her later sound, until middle school. When she was a sophomore in high school, COVID hit. She told Teen Vogue that online classes couldn't hold her attention, so she poured her restless energy into making music and sharing it online. In 2021, Jessie came home from cheer practice one day to find that one of her videos had gone viral. In a talk with Teen Vogue, she said that was the moment she knew she needed to put her head down and really get to work, though the idea was intimidating. She later told Tomorrow magazine, "It was really daunting at first to post covers. Not even because of the internet, but mainly because I was in high school, and I am from a small town, and people in high school can be brutal." Singing always came naturally to Jessie. In a 2024 interview with Basic magazine, she said she's forever grateful that her voice sounds the way it does, claiming this is just what comes out. When asked how she developed her signature sound, but putting herself out there was the tricky part. She told Tomorrow, "I do think it's one of those things where it's kind of like a Band-Aid and you just have to rip it. Looking back, I'm glad I did it."
I wouldn't be where I am without social media.
Jessie joined TikTok in 2019. Before she was a nationally known act, well on her way to household name status, her videos were getting shared around her small town, and not everybody loved the message she was putting out. While some classmates were into it, their parents didn't like the explicit lyrics in her original songs, but that just fueled her to write what she knew and stay true to herself. Her songs walked the line between country and hip-hop, two male-dominated genres, and she faced pressure from her community to tone it down and act more ladylike.
Cheer coaches would make me run 4 miles per word.
She told Women in Pop, "Them telling me you can't say that, you need to act like a lady, made me like, okay, I'm gonna say it more." I feel you can hear in my earlier songs that they're a little bit more explicit, and that's why, because I was so like, oh, I can't, I'm gonna do it the most I can now. Jessie's perseverance paid off, with her big break coming as coronavirus concerns still kept her world small. Social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok let her spread her songs far and wide, and it was on a Zoom call that she connected with her future label. She told People magazine, "It was during COVID, so I was taking all these meetings in my bedroom with my mom. We would Zoom and meet these people and met with Columbia, and I loved them, and the rest is history." It wouldn't be until 2024 that Jessie released her proper debut album with Columbia. She told Sports Illustrated that putting out an album when she was in high school, tempting as it was, would have been a bad idea. And she's glad she waited. I look at some of the things I'm handling now and how busy I am and just how much everything is, and I couldn't have handled that at 17, 18. It's all happened in the right time. But her early singles, later compiled on the mixtape Drowning, made waves all the same. Always Been You even broke into the Hot 100. Jessie's first ever live performance was at the Austin City Limits Festival in 2021. She documented the debut on her YouTube channel, giving followers a look backstage, the view from onstage, and how she felt after it was all over. Though she may come across as a natural-born pop star, Jessie insists she's more of a homebody. That's why touring holds a special place in her heart, now that she's earned her ticket around the world playing sold-out shows, including an arena show in her hometown. She told Tomorrow, "My favorite thing about touring is getting to know all these different people every night. When I'm home, I am usually kind of an introvert. Getting to meet people every night, see how people live differently in different cities, is something so cool and special to me." It didn't take long for fellow artists to connect with Jessie, but even she was surprised by the caliber of performer who reached out first. She told People magazine, "Diplo was actually the first person to ever reach out to me, famous person-wise. It was right when I got signed. Then a couple years later, Heartbroken ended up happening. Polo G's on that too, which was really sick. He's one of my favorites." Heartbroken broke into both Billboard's Hot 100 and Hot Country Songs charts. Since then, Jessie has become an in-demand collaborator across genres. Her first ever collaboration was working with country artist Maren Morris on the track Texas. Later, she teamed up with superstar Jelly Roll on the platinum single Wild Ones and joined Teddy Swims on Dirty. Both songs appear on her proper debut album, released just a few weeks before she turned 19.
He's just always so true to himself. Like, he's the same way on camera he is in person.
Jessie's favorite collaboration, however, didn't come until album number 2, when she worked with Lil Baby on Best Behavior. She told Teen Vogue where she was when she heard from her label about the feature. "I started crying in a Cracker Barrel. He's always been my dream collab." That Ain't No Man, That's the Devil, Jessie's first album for Columbia, was released in September 2024. When people asked her about its biggest theme, she said that it was probably anger, but not anger in general. Jessie explained that she'd been building up anger toward men for most of her life. And finally, the dam burst. She told the magazine, "Something set me off, and I had to get it all out." Jessie also told Uproxx that beyond the anger, spite, and hurt of the album, she sees it as a statement. Jessie Murph can do anything. She raps and sings across the record, blending soul, country, hip-hop, and pop. She told Basic, "I've always written from personal experiences, but I feel like now more than ever it's just coming directly from my soul. Whether in terms of the lyrical content or sound, this new era is just completely me." In July 2025, Jessie released her second record, Sex Hysteria, on which she drops the F-bomb 36 times in autobiographical songs about sexuality, generational trauma, and self-discovery. As the press release puts it, speaking to Teen Vogue, Jessie called such trauma a vicious cycle, and said the story told by Sex Hysteria is that what you grow up seeing is sometimes what you attract later in life.
I take a lot of inspiration from things I saw like as a kid.
But not every track is as heavy as that makes it sound. Blue Strips, which became a huge hit, is about hitting the club to get over an ex. Jessie told Sports Illustrated she knew the trap pop song was special from the very beginning. There's less of a country sound overall this time, though Jessie insists she's still drawn to the grit of both country and hip-hop. She told Teen Vogue, "Everyone's music is always a culmination of what they listened to growing up. Everyone's always chasing the feeling of nostalgia. I don't know. I think music being thrown into a blender is beautiful. I think I'd give up a few rights if you would just love me like it's 1965. That's the hook to Jessie's retro soul hit 1965, which quickly sparked backlash, both for its racy music video and for the angry listeners who assumed Jessie was seriously advocating rolling back women's rights. The day after Sex Hysteria dropped, she clarified on TikTok that the song is satire and later told Teen Vogue that she loves rights, specifically for women. Jessie said she was inspired by romantic movies from the 1960s and that the whole song is kind of a joke. Still, a lot of people didn't get it, especially after she performed the song for a massive audience on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. But Jessie seems unfazed by the drama and ready for whatever controversy comes next. She told Teen Vogue, "I think I'm going to f up so much, I feel like I'll be canceled, like at least 4 times. I want to just do what I want, and if people don't like it, then they can cancel me. But you always get uncanceled, depending on what it is. I'm a good person. I'm not going to do anything crazy."